My name is Micah, but I also go by Vash. I'm fine being called either for terms of the game. People who know me online, it's usually easier for them to just call me Vash, but presumably I'll be meeting some new people, so I'll just probably go by Micah. I'm 27, but actually I think by the time games start, I'll be 28. So my birthday's in the middle of that. I'm currently a graduate student for physics at Lehigh University. And if you know where that is, you know where I am. I currently live in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. The main thing that sticks out to me, at least from the very little I've heard about the game Resilience, right, is this idea of being in decay. Not eliminated, not completely voted out, in decay. And that tells me that what I can expect is probably a bit more flux in terms of like eliminated players. Like if someone's in decay, they're going, but they're not fully gone, right? Which I have played a game where I don't think you go so far as to the living, roaming ghosts that haunted Survivor Meet 4, where they could interfere in everything. But I think it might be interesting where people's statuses are probably going to be coming in and out of being active or being able to influence the game, right? Which means that even the early relationships that you end up forming are going to end up mattering a lot, right? Like even if someone's going out immediately, it might make a lot of sense to not just do what people tend to do in games when they expect people to not matter and just sort of blindside them, right? Try and be their friend, try and always be on their side, and most importantly, never be the person they're most mad at, right? Because you only ever get eliminated from Survivor if you're the person who most people, who a plurality, vote out. So if you're never the person that people most want out, you can live on another round and another round and another round. Which tends to be how I normally play, and it's usually a very flexible strategy that can work through most other things. But I think I'll focus a lot more on forming relationships even with people who I'm very certain are going to be voted out. So I will say that this is an in-person Survivor, right? So that definitely changes things up for me in terms of my specific like triangle, right? Normally when it comes to like more online games, I'm a lot stronger, more inclined, and my strongest attribute is normally somewhere in the challenge prowess, or at least in the terms of team challenges where I'm very good at corralling people. But that's normally informed by my more strategic mind, right? Strategy is number one, far and away, going to be my strongest asset in this. Basically, knowing when making a deal for me is going to be very bad for me, and having a very quick instinctive, okay, here's exactly what I need to do to avoid being voted out right now, right? This is worked for me before, or it's at least helped me stay off my execution in past games. When it comes to my social weaknesses, I always find myself more fascinated with things in terms of like strategy. I'm one of those people who's usually less intrigued by small talk than others, which is very problematic when small talk is normally how you start off with those relationships, right? And like, so I do try to like meld this by just finding common interests, because once you find a common interest, at least you can bond over that, right? Which is why I do in a lot of games end up talking about media, right? And it does